And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your
We are the last Americans. We are the last Americans. We are the last Americans.
Yo, yo, yo!
Hello.
What's up, dudes?
Hello. What you guys do?
Yeah. It's not
Is it the
registering.
same old shit?
No,
Is it not registering to YouTube or what?
It's not registering on the mixer.
Oh.
Interesting.
Well, I can hear you.
I can hear you. Yeah. Everybody's frozen, apparently.
Okay. What are they saying in the chat?
It says I can see and hear now. Apparently.
Okay.
Can you guys hear us all right in there? If you're listening, can you hear us okay? Because Chris, better now.
Leave
So-
a one. Leave a one in the chat if you can hear us.
Yeah, AJ says better now. Interesting.
Okay.
All right. Damn. Okay. Yes, they can hear us, man. So interesting. I don't know what's going on with it, but we'll figure it out.
There's literally nothing here.
All right. Anyways, we'll just keep going.
All right.
They can hear us.
Yeah.
So we're good.
I mean,
Anyways,
I can hear it on YouTube. I'm listening to the playback. So
Okay.
anyway.
I don't know.
sounds good.
Well,
Yeah,
I guess if anything, I'll just have to re-download it from YouTube.
absolutely.
Holy guacamole, dude.
Oh wow, it's always
That's
good, man.
weird.
It's
What the
fucking
fuck?
Mondays.
It was
Case of
just
the
working a
Mondays.
little bit ago.
Yeah, we were testing it before and everything was fine, but who knows? Fucking programs. But you just got back from a long week's vacation where we
yes,
missed you.
sir.
We missed you on the show, man.
Yeah. Dude, I missed it too. And I went to Lake Chelan over in Eastern Washington.
Chelan?
Uh,
See, I would have never remembered that. I couldn't remember where you went.
Yeah, so Chelan. Really fucking nice, dude. It was very desert vibes over in Eastern Washington, not very green. There's a lot of deserty kind of mountains and whatnot.
Is that by
I love that
is
weather.
that by the Gorge Amphitheater over there, kind of?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, it's a pretty place, man.
Indeedy.
Yeah, it's beautiful over there. But you're right. It's very, very barren. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's very kind of flat, kind of deserty,
Yeah, like
barren.
super fucking super snowy in the winter. It's
Yeah.
like just like 3 to 4 feet. You know what I mean?
So was it
And
just
I'm
like
like,
a
no.
family trip? Is that what this was about? Just kind of like
Yeah.
a getaway.
Yeah. So we, Tiff and I rented a house over in Lake Chelan, and then we just had the kids there, and then met up with my sister a couple days. Met up with Jeff and Sarah,
Nice.
and boogie boarded. A little bit here and there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was telling you before. We have this. We have like shared accounts, obviously, like our photos and stuff. And we were
Yes.
sitting at the home over the weekend, and we have our friends trip that we
fucked up.
do. And,
I fucked up.
Yeah, my wife was like, "Oh, Greg, he must have accidentally did this," and you sent over all the photos to our friends trip thing. So we were like looking at him. It's like you guys are on the river or some lake or something, and you're like,
Yeah.
I was like, it looks like a pretty nice little area right there.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of nice little.
There's no hobos around.
We can't.
Yeah, there was no hobos. I did not see one homeless person
Well, I don't know that there really are over there, man. I mean, there's not that many
because it
people
gets too
over there.
cold.
Well,
They die in the winter like bugs. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, what you got? Ellensburg or whatever is over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ellensburg, Leavenworth.
Leavenworth.
Ooh.
We went to Leavenworth,
Yeah, yeah.
and that was pretty awesome.
Leavenworth is pretty sick.
Yeah, that's a good
A couple
weekend.
of Armenian dudes tricked my wife and my sister to come into the shop and try this sacred eye medication, and it made their wrinkles disappear. But
Do they have wrinkles? Really?
no. But I'm just saying, like, they put it on, and it actually looked legit. But like, my wife's like, yeah, I can feel this. Like, it burns. Like, this is not good. And like, she rubbed it, and when you rub it off, it was like this thin paste. It was just like a freaking mask or something that went over your
like paper
your
mache.
face.
Like semen.
Yeah.
Or
Man.
so, hey, it might have been their jizz, dude.
What's that-
I was
what's
like,
that-
that guy just jizzed on your face.
What's that shit that you can buy from like Mod Podge? You know what I'm talking about? That you
I don't fucking know.
It's like a
Mod
white-
Podge?
Yeah, man. It's like a white.
Is that a place?
No, it's
That's a Star Wars character,
it's a container,
Chris. Come
man.
on.
It's
Mod-
a. They use it for schools and art. It's like a white tub, and it's and like
Mod
you put it over like paper mache and it hardens up.
I've never heard of that.
Really?
I've heard of like using the phrase like hodgepodge.
Or it might be hodgepodge. It
Yeah,
could be
hodgepodge. I've heard of that.
Okay,
but
maybe that's what
Mod Podge. I don't
I
know
do.
about that.
Listen, I was throwing it off the hip on that one. I think it is hodgepodge. Maybe that's what it is.
AJ says Mod Podge.
Mod Podge.
That doesn't sound. I don't know.
It's
AJ
like
also asked if I microdosed on mushrooms. No, I didn't. I wish. One of these days I'm going to.
If you're gonna do it, that's the place to do it, though.
In Leavenworth? Or
no, just at Easter. Like that area where the amphitheater's at is one of the most beautiful places. It's absolutely gorgeous over there.
Yeah, dude.
With the
the sunsets were awesome.
Oh yeah, it's pretty, dude. That's cool. So you guys were there for 5 days or longer?
Yeah, we got there on Monday, left on Saturday.
Okay.
So it was a pretty good trip.
Yeah, man. Well, we missed you. It was we had fun. We had some good conversations and stuff. But
I missed you guys too. I tuned in on the one episode where you guys basically just talked about life. You know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. It was nice.
And well, it's been a while since I've heard about your brother, dude. I had no idea he is like obese now and kind of falling apart.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been a rough path. I don't really have any connection with him, but it's been a rough path for him, dude. That's for sure. Yeah, life's not great, man, for him. But you know what? Well, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, because I was listening to that because we were driving back from the lake going to our house, and I just threw you guys on, and like Tiff was listening. And I was like, I forgot Dave had a brother. I'm like, well, another brother, like half.
Most people don't know.
I had no idea.
My daughters don't even know.
I learned something new.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the, it sucks because he was a huge part of my life. Obviously, when I was younger, like he was always there. You know what I mean? We always did stuff together. So yeah, I mean, it sucks that my kids don't know, but everybody has that, right? Like we have family members of some form or another that don't have any relationship with their kids.
Yeah, dude, I have a half sister that I haven't seen since I was probably 7 or 8.
Oh, is that the one from Modesto or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
My dad had a kid.
I forgot about
before
that.
he had kids with us.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Good old Misty. Actually, I think her name was Misty Dawn.
No,
you're making that? Is that up,
that's not real?
No,
really?
This is fucking legit. Like they were like hippie type stuff. Misty Dawn, and then I think there was something else that was like that.
A lunar,
like Mountain Dew almost. You know what I mean? Like, I was like,
I did go to school with a chick that had a name kind of like that. Her name was Sandra Shores. I mean, everyone called her Sandy Shores.
Sandy Shores.
Dude, the best. We went to school with a girl named Candy Landis.
Dude, so here's the thing. I was going to bring this
you
up.
got Candyland right in your name.
We talked about that on the show, bro, this last week when you weren't here. And I was like, there's this one girl, Candy Landis. She took my shit all the time because she was like, I'm not being rude, but she was like lower income. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was trying to like collect shit.
Like you would hand me downs type of stuff?
Well, no, I'm just saying she would like get into my little my little bag and take my scissors and take my fucking nice pens and shit that we got. And she would say they're hers. And I said her name was Candy Landis, and Chris didn't believe it. He's like, there's no way. Like Candyland. I'm like, yes, dude.
How does a parent who just has a kid not correlate that together?
Well, listen,
they did it on purpose.
Yeah,
obviously.
I would argue that like there's a certain
that's got to be like child abuse or something. If you like are purposely naming your kid like that, come on.
Well, listen, I'm not. I'm trying to say this in a way that's not completely rude. But like when you are, when you're in a certain like I don't know, there's a certain kind of like ghetto-ness, okay, that kind of goes on, and then you get this like weird kind of like nameplay. You know what I mean? And she had an older sister too. I can't remember what her name was, but she was rough, dude. She was pretty rough. But yeah, she took my shit. I was talking about it and he didn't believe me. And I was like, man, if Greg was here, he could verify this for sure. I think it's hilarious that you brought that shit up. Oh man. No, it was good, man. It was fun to have, kind of like loose conversations. And on Friday we had our call-in show, which was awesome. And I was telling Chris after the show, I actually, Whiskey Shaman called in and I actually thought it was really cool. He was just like, hey man, I really liked hearing your guys' stories. I really, enjoyed like not hearing about politics. And I was like, yeah, it is nice to like break away from that shit for a minute.
Get back to the roots of our show, dude.
Yeah, because that's what when we used to sit around the table, when we talked about like us starting this and we were sitting around, whether it was my kitchen or your kitchen or whoever's kitchen and just bullshitting over the weekends, like it wasn't always politics. It was just random shit.
It was rarely politics.
Politics. So like, it's kind of nice to like, and especially I definitely, which is why I wish you were here for it, which we will obviously do a lot more of it. But when you're not in town with us, like having that connection of like, just being friends, you know, and you're kind of like at a distance now. So it's nice to like catch up on what's going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of value in it. Yeah, there's a lot of value in it. So it was good, man. I enjoyed it. It was I'm fucking tired. I don't know about you. I'm sure you're tired because you were gone all week, but I'm burnt out today, dude. Like,
yeah. You guys been doing some heavy lifting or what?
Nah, I mean, this weekend was Friday. We came over here on Friday.
Yeah.
We did the show, and we had the kids here, and we're hanging out for a little while. And then Saturday, everybody came over to our place. The first time we had over to
their house, and then all the kids came over here and had like a slumber party thing.
And then Sunday, we ended up coming over here again.
Yeah.
And went swimming and hung out in the pool all day, and then
Ash got burnt. Fuck.
Yeah, man.
Ash is so burnt.
I keep it shoulders under. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my rule. But today I got a new mower, which was like a real mower. I actually got one the other day, but it was broken. It was fucking used. Fucking.
What do you mean, like a real mower? Like
real mowers, like the ones you just push and they spin. You know what I'm saying?
There's no motor.
No motor. Yeah. And so
Wait, the first one was used?
Yeah. So I bought one from Lowe's. I was thinking, because we were like, okay, we don't want to spend $450 on a fucking mower. You know what I mean? Obviously, you can get used ones.
Yeah, you don't have a big yard anyway.
We don't have a huge, and the backyard's like, you know, just a real rectangular yard. Nothing complicated. So I was like, let's just get this and we'll try it. And if it, you know, it's like $130, $150, and you know, if it doesn't work, we'll buy a motor down the road. So I opened it up today. Finally, I bought 2 days ago. Started putting it together, and I'm like, there's grass chips on it, and I'm like, no. So I'm like, fine, you know, like somebody maybe used it once, didn't like it, and returned it. I'll put it together, see if it works, you know. But it's missing pieces and shit. So I had to drive all the way to fucking Lowe's, and then they didn't have any more, so I fucking had to go to Home Depot, and then I got this other one, which ended up being a nicer one in my opinion, anyways. But yeah, that's what I did, and I was just pouring fucking sweat, bro. Like fucking pouring sweat.
100 degrees,
105, 105, fucking humid. And
so yeah, I mean, that's what I mowed, which took me, you know, maybe 30 minutes or so, 35. And then I had to reset our sprinklers because we got some sprinklers and I want to get those set. So I was just outside and I'm burnt. I'm like real burnt right now because I was wearing like a tank. And dude, I was pouring. So I've never sweat so much in my life. Like, seriously. Like,
I do. That's the way I was. I was telling you guys a while back when I was digging all that fucking shit by hand. I was just sweat fucking.
Yeah, dude.
It's like a river of manliness.
I mean, because it reached 100 degrees here today, and I was like, dude, this feels like I'm freaking hot just like standing out here. I was like, those guys might be.
Well, yeah,
it's been warm up there the last couple weeks.
Yeah, one of my old coworkers.
But I mean, it's dry at least. You guys are swampy.
No,
right?
like our humidity level's been really low. It hasn't been bad at all.
That's good.
It's been low. But one of my old coworkers calls, you know, once a week or so and just catches up, you know, and he's like, yeah, it was 100 degrees today, and I'm like, okay, but you have like breaks. You know what I'm saying? It's like 100, then it's like 90.
It's been 105 here for the last month and a half.
Yeah, it's not been under 100 in 2 months. I swear to God, it's not over 100. Which is, I'm getting used to it. Like, I'm still sweaty when you're working outside. You always will be, but I'm starting to like adjust slowly. Yeah. I feel like I'm adjusting more, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But it's weird sweating that much. Like, I came into the house, my wife looked at me like, you need a shower now. I was dripping all kinds of places. You know what I'm saying? It was not good.
You weren't wearing your khakis, were you?
I was wearing I put my black shorts on. But see, I was doing the sprinkler, so I was soaked. You know, I was letting it spray me and stuff, and it was fine.
Well,
but
hey, so let me ask you, did you guys watch any of the meteor shower stuff?
No.
Did you get to watch any of it? There might be going on tonight, too.
No. I mean,
I'll probably pay attention now that I'm made aware of it.
Yeah, I feel like I heard about that, but I really forgot about it, honestly.
Well, I just don't know. Do you guys have like a good view of the stars or
dude,
wherever you're at?
Hell yes, man. Yes, we're like, we're in a small town. Like, this is not a big town. Like, Conroe's not huge. Like, Montgomery, where I'm technically in, has 700 people. So it's like, yeah, I mean, it's like, it's Houston, but it's like not Houston. You know what I mean? So like, we actually have pretty good at night.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of light pollution. So you're able to see
great, dude. Stars. Yeah, you guys should check it out because we were watching like, it's like every year around Tiff's birthday, you'll get the meteor shower, right? And there's a name for it. I forget the name of it, but we saw the biggest fucking meteor I've ever seen in my life.
Oh shit, UFO, you mean?
No, it might have been.
I'm kidding, dude.
It might have been, dude. With all this stuff on UFOs and stuff, you never know.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean the biggest? It's just like the brightest one you've seen, or
it was bright and long. Like it just lasted forever. Like it was ripping
Oh,
the
like it
fucking
was just moving.
sky
It
open.
wasn't like a shooting star. It was just like it was moving slower than that.
It was a shooting star, but it was like
Abnormally big.
it was super bright and just like stayed up in the sky for a very long time. Like, you know, normally when you see them, they're really like just quick
flash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one was very, it was like a 1 or 2 Mississippi.
Well, that's the thing is where you were at, man. Seriously, like that is the prime place to like you want to stargaze, bro.
Oh yeah.
Like,
well, and we
holy
kind of
shit.
saw that Milky Way haze, you know,
Yeah.
like that's when you know you got it good.
Well, I was going to ask you too, like a week ago, I think it was maybe a little more than that, roughly, but they were saying that you could see the northern lights from Washington. And I was going to ask you if you could see them there, because apparently people were seeing it. So,
Not
green,
me.
not you.
I didn't see it.
Maybe if you like, you might have been able to see it if you drove all the way up to like Mount St. Helens or something. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, or like
But
the
I don't know,
peninsula
man.
or something, you know?
I've seen a meteor one. I think it was a meteor one time. I was driving home, and it was when I was working swing shift, and I was driving home from work, and you go through those like little S turns before you get into Kelso.
Yeah.
And I'm going through there, going north on I-5, and all of a sudden it's just, and I'm like, I look over, and it was a good 5-6 seconds of fucking just, and it just like went towards the coast. I'm like, oh my God, it was like huge green and blue colored, and it was just like,
Ooh.
and I was like,
It might have been
what in the
SpaceX,
fuck
bro.
was that?
Yeah,
You could see like the fucking the trail coming off of it. It was insane.
there's some cool video of those things with the trails and they're like sparkling off and, you know, kind of disintegrating in front of your eyes. But
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, it comes to like meteors. Like there was one early in the morning when I was driving to Portland and it came into the sky. You could see it. And it was huge, man. Like, right. I mean, it lit up the sky and just had that whole, like, you know, that light, like explosion. And I was like, fuck, that was gnarly. But you don't see, I don't see them that often. You know what I mean? Like those big ones. You'd think you see them more.
That's the thing is like, you got to wait for the specific time of the year. Like they get closer to the earth and there's like this cluster of them that come in. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, when I was over there, I was like, we had this meteor shower stuff. And then the story of the aliens like attacking in Peru. Did you guys hear any of this?
Yeah. The Peru stuff that's a tough one, man. I want to hear your take on it. Actually, I was going to ask you about it because there's a couple things I didn't bring any articles, but there's a few thing that came up, and that Peru thing was like an interesting take, but I don't know if I buy it. I'm not sure yet.
Well, what they're doing is they're selling the story that aliens are attacking people. That's what I'm buying. And so they're trying to get you scared.
Who is?
I don't know who is.
So the people in these villages are the ones that are coming out and doing these interviews saying that this is what they're seeing. They're showing the video. So you could argue that the government's forcing, like, we're not there. We're not in Peru, but it's a lot of like, you know, poverty, you know, Peruvians, I don't know if that's how you say it, but I don't know. They're from Peru. You know, but my point is they're village.
I'm trying to figure out how to put poverty and Peru into the same word.
Peruvians. But there was the video of the supposed alien on the house. And you saw the many villagers.
That video was like super glitchy, and like people were pausing it saying, "This is absolute proof that is an alien gray right there." Don't know about that.
I haven't seen anything about this.
There's a lot. There's quite a bit, man. And there's people missing. There was that one that was real fake, bro. Which was they found the body in the water.
With a skull.
The skull was
the
exposed,
face was all
but
ripped
the body
off.
was all there. Like it was totally clean. Like it was.
Yeah.
It just.
Well, because I watched the body that was being pulled out of the ocean or something, right?
Yeah.
And his face, like from the neck all the way up, was ripped off, and it was just clean bone.
It was white bone.
But you could tell like it was glitching. You know when you have a face filter on and it kind of glitches a little bit?
Yep.
It was doing that.
Well, see, here's the problem with all of it, right? Is that like let's hypothetically, because here's the thing: the one with the house, the roof. What was interesting about that was the amount of people there. There were a lot of people that were like flashlights on that thing. You could hear people screaming. You could see in the video that there was 30, 40, 50 people, like a village, you know what I'm saying, at this house, which anytime that I start seeing a large number, you're either like that validates the fact that like something was going on and people were freaked out, or everybody in the village is in on it. or the government put all
Right.
these people here. So which one
Chris,
is it?
I just sent you a link, dude.
Where he's looking at him right now. He found him on Twitter.
But I don't know. Maybe the government's in on it too. Maybe they're like, hey, we'll give you a shitload of money if you sell this story, and all these families will give them $100,000. Just pretend like you're fucking scared. I don't know.
It's very possible. But what I was gonna say is the problem is when let's say that video was valid. Let's say that was a real video. We don't know that it's an alien, but let's say it's all legit, right? Somebody filmed it because they thought it was. We don't know if it is. The problem is then you get other people who start to capitalize on the fact that video is trending, and here comes the Skullhead video from the river, which is just two random dudes that no one knows, and they're dragging around a body that was underneath. And so, what's real, what's not real? Like, I don't know.
Well, they were describing them as 7-foot aliens that could fly, and they described them as the Green Goblin from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a video of the guy they pulled out of the water.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real.
Yeah, I don't know if you should. Can you put that on YouTube?
Why?
It's fake.
I think it's fake, but I mean, they might think that it's fucking real. I don't know.
I'm saying it's fake. This is
go ahead,
just for
put it up there.
This is for entertainment purposes.
It's a Halloween
It's a
costume.
Halloween costume. Here it is. It's a little weird.
See, watch it glitch. See it glitching? No, I'm just kidding.
Is it not
See
gonna
the
play?
circle of death that Twitter always gives you?
Damn it!
Why?
It
As soon as
literally-
I open
it killed
it,
this guy.
It's fucking X, bro. X is not going to give it to us today.
Oh, well.
X gonna give
It's
it
fine.
to
You
you.
can see it. You can see it. But it doesn't look real to me. Like, it's a real body. Like, that's a real person for sure. Like, dead or alive, it's fake. It's a Halloween costume. But that's a real body. You know what I'm saying? Like, real arms and shit. But, like, here you go. Yeah. I mean, of course they drop them.
All right.
God dang.
But see, like, look at the suit. Like, okay, first of all, why is that one guy wearing a blue, like, doctor suit to kind of like prove like, oh, there's a doctor on the scene, even though he's wearing like Nikes and fucking ripped up jeans underneath it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
It's Peru, dude. I mean, come on.
I know, but no one else is. Like, let's be real. Like, they're wearing gloves, but no one's wearing masks and shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Well, my thing is like, what makes me believe that they're trying to maybe cover something up is that they're now blaming it on gold miners with
What?
jetpacks. They're saying that there were gold miners in the area that had these jetpacks, and that's who these people were.
oh god,
That's what the cops are saying, dude.
That's
I'm like, okay, so now it just fucking
So-
reeks of a cover up.
Why would gold miners have jetpacks?
dude. I mean, to be honest with you, like, I've never even. I just saw the picture. Like, Chris was strolling
This
through
is
and saw a picture.
here's the
but-
exact photo that the news report is making it look like the local took photo. Turns out to be from a French pilot stuntman named Frankie Zapata, traveling the English Channel
Oh, Billy.
on a stunt in 2019.
Yeah,
Frankie Zapata.
I just feel like when you see that, you know that that's like a mechanical thing. Like what the people were describing was not that. I mean, whether you believe them or not, they weren't describing a jetpack. They were describing a thin 7-foot alien, and some were saying there were actually even small aliens.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I seen one where a guy was like, he's like, there's some here,
Yeah.
some here. Look.
yeah.
Well, they also said that they shot the thing twice and it just did nothing.
Yeah. But here's the
So
deal.
they were
like
shooting at it and all that shit.
Brazil, like there's those pretty interesting stories coming out of Brazil, that there was a craft that crashed and people were seeing that shit, and the bodies were taken to the hospital. I mean, there's some like legitimate shit that's going on in South America. And so
Well, do you think they're testing on people down there?
testing on what? Aliens? Or
Well, yeah. Do you think they're testing? Because I mean, think about it. The Nazis escaped to South America. They're having all these technologies down there. Who knows?
I mean, I don't think that's out of the realm, but they're
Of course it would be not like the alien race shows up and it's not, it's just Nazis.
There you go.
I just America's not the
Come
only
on.
country that's gonna if that was all real, like we're not the only country that's gonna have aliens. You know what I'm saying? Like, or have had an
Yeah.
encounter. And so for some reason, South America seems like a real hotspot, and that could be because of the pyramids. I mean, we have some Mayan temples. We have some structures down there that are interesting. Like maybe there's something to that. There's not enough evidence to say one way or the other. I mean, the Vegas video I thought was interesting, and that was the same thing, where it's like you can't really see it. It's you have to stop it and filters and it's like, was that even real? Those people like dropped off the face of the earth, man.
Well, what do you think about this?
Right.
Is this real? Apparently, this is a video coming out of Peru too.
This is from above the house. Oh no, this is.
Oh, there it is.
I saw this. I saw.
It looks like E.T.
Is
Where's
that-
Elliot?
Is that real?
I don't know.
Need some M&Ms, dude. He's hungry.
I'll say this: that's not a person. That's not a person in a costume, and so that could be a puppet. You know that there's somebody's in the tree messing around. You know, or somebody on the
Or
ground.
AI, just an algorithm.
Dude, I will say that I watched that one, and like I'm not really picking up on like computer. It looks like it's actually in the environment. You could just the way the leaves are moving and stuff when you actually watch it, like it looks like it's something there.
Yeah.
But like whether it's a real alien, and it's so thin that like getting a real human in a suit that thin is going to be. I mean, you know, there's some poor areas, but I mean, I doubt you're going to find somebody that emancipated, like, or emancipated.
Oh,
That's not the
dude.
right word, but-
Emancipated?
Yeah, that's not the right word.
Emaciated?
Emaciated.
Dude,
So-
I think it might have been Christian Bale, dude. He probably did that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The
He was
machinist.
going for that role again, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's method acting again.
Or
That would be so
Jared Leto,
hilarious if he like just
going
put
to-
his face on that body.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, what's your take, man? I mean, what like to end that? What's your take on the
Dude, so my take is it's fitting into this whole propaganda thing about aliens right now that they're trying to it's setting it up for Project Bluebeam, dude. Like guaranteed. They're basically coming out like it's one story here, one story there. They're collectively like getting people aware of aliens exist. And then you're coming out with the fear factor of, oh shit, these things can attack us at any time.
Yeah, but it's
Ugh.
Peru. To be fair, man, like most people just look at it like it's probably bogus. Like they're not buying into Peru's thing. Like they're not buying into it. Like if
But it's the collective thing though. It's like as an example, the Vegas story, they just saw a bunch of aliens, right? The whole crash landing, it was verified on the police camera, the body cam.
Yep.
Right? So you had that big story pop off.
But that was
then you have
far more believable.
but it's all of these stories put together that I think that they're trying to utilize
but
to get everybody comfortable with UFOs.
So my issue with like that statement though is why does it have to be like I still am like stuck on the fact that like why does it have to be like that things finally are starting to like make light and it has to be Project Bluebeam or Blue
maybe
Book.
it's not fake. Maybe it's something that they know will happen and there's going to be an alien attack. I don't know. Maybe they're going to provoke one.
Oh, yeah, but why can't like hypothetically why can't it be that? So let's say that they're really are integrated into our society in some realm, right? Like they do watch us. Let's say that's even just that level. They keep an eye on us. If they're aware that the people are aware now, you know what I'm saying? That like this coming out and that people are starting to recognize that, oh, there maybe is some truth to this. Maybe there are real. Like anytime you shed light on something, it becomes more easy to like show yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like if they feel like there's no threat, you know what I'm saying? So like, why would it be that like, hey, Congress is talking about this, you know, the American people are buying into this. They maybe sense that. And they're just like, hey, we can actually show ourselves now more because people are not afraid.
Maybe, or maybe it's, hey, now it's time to go attack people because now, hey, they know we're here. So we might as well fucking.
I don't believe it. I don't believe in the attacking people at all. Zero.
My question would always be, why is it always that they're even a threat? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how could you be such an advanced civilization? You're going from planet to planet, if that's what the case is,
or dimensional,
and you're just going there to kill everything. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's Hollywood.
Well, dude, and another clip that kind of went viral too was when Post Malone was on Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you guys watch any of that? Or
I watched the stuff about him being not a drug addict. I mean, that's the clip.
Oh,
yeah.
Where he's like a schizophrenic and shit. Like
no, he just said because he lost all that weight and shit, and people were like, "Oh, he's on drugs now," and it's like, or he just lost weight. You know, one of the two. But.
Yeah. Well, there was a clip on there where he was Joe Rogan brought up a CIA document that was translating something from the KGB. So that's what he was saying. Like, hey, take it for what you will. You don't know if you can trust this shit, but. The story read something about there was a craft that was shot down by an air-to-surface missile, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when the beings got out of the crash thing, there were 5 of them, and they joined together, and they made this gigantic spherical shape, and it rose up into the air, got so bright, and it flashed, and there were 23 men that it turned into stone poles.
Yeah.
And their surviving men saw what happened and came back and reported it.
Yeah.
So that clip went viral too, right at the same time when you have all these aliens attacking in Peru. I'm just like, what are they trying to do here?
Dude,
Yeah, but hasn't that story's been tossed around for a while? Though.
Yeah, it's been years. I've heard that.
I haven't heard it.
Yeah, that was
I've
talked
never
about
heard that
many
one.
years ago. I'm on. Not that you're not, Greg, but like what Chris said is where I'm at. Like I just have a hard time thinking like we have to assume that they're the worst, and that's human nature, right? Like if you see an animal out in the wilderness, you assume that it's going to attack you, right? Like it's human instinct to think that.
Yeah.
But my thing was always and always will be like until proven wrong. Obviously, it could always change, but if they were going to like destroy the earth and take over mankind, they would have done it without even us wanting to know what they were. Like it would have been a sneak surprise if they would have just showed up and we're like, what the fuck?
Well, and then do we even worry about it anyway? Because if they're going to do it, they're going to fucking do it. You can't stop them.
I get you.
Well, no, my thing is that it's the government. It's like the never let a good crisis go to waste.
Yeah.
They're going to create fear with aliens somehow.
Are they going to create fear, or are people just going to be fearful?
Or are they just going to create it themselves?
Like,
look what they did with the thing that in 2020, right? You know?
Yeah, but that was...
They created fear out of nothing, and then it's just blows up, dude.
Yeah, but you were talking about a virus, man. And even us in the very beginning, I'm sure many people listening right now, when we first heard about this thing, we've talked about this before, but when we first heard about it, we're like, dude, is this shit like... Is this the real deal? Like, is this that major virus that like no one can stop? And it's like you're afraid of it because you don't know what it is. Like you don't.
Well, now think about aliens.
Yeah, but here's the thing:
you don't really know what it is,
you
and
don't.
If they're attacking people, you're going, "Ooh, shit, is this real? Like, should we worry about this?"
Yeah, but an alien coughing on you, okay, is not gonna like. And they were selling the fact that like you get coughed on, you could get COVID and die, right? Like it was this non-seeing thing that just was in the air all around us, and we were just going to possibly have, die all of a sudden. That was the narrative.
Well, yeah, so are aliens, dude.
Yeah,
They're all in the air. They could land in your backyard. You never know.
I know, but my
who's
point
next.
is some people will be afraid because, they never really looked into aliens. Maybe they don't understand anything about it, or maybe they have some other, preconceived notions about it. But like, I'm not saying it wouldn't be scary. If anybody saw a giant craft above their home, they'd be freaking out. Like it would just be like, what the fuck? What is going on? But like, at the same time, like Hollywood has sold for 100 years, not quite, but close, that like these things are going to come down here like Mars Attacks and just start fucking lasering everybody. But like, I don't understand, like, why wouldn't they do, if that was their goal and their game plan, and if they've been around this earth for thousands of years through the pyramids and all this, why wouldn't they do that when we were like at our lowest point, like when we had no technology? Yeah. Like, why would you not just come wipe us out when we were on wagons going across the, the Oregon coast?
Yeah,
I mean, that's
we got to
true.
wait until they're a challenge and then kill them.
Yeah,
it's not even that we're
let's
challenged,
wait till they start to figure out our technology, and then we'll go down.
Yeah, I mean, they had to have seen
that's
Independence
the thing.
Day.
It's like
they know we have a chance.
Well, Big Ron thinks that aliens are helping us right now. Okay, like
sure. There's some people,
and that's how Donald Trump got elected. There was some intervention there. Okay, so there's some crazy ideas.
Aliens.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it goes both ways. I think to your point, like it can get extreme on both ends. Like they're either here to kill us or they're here saving the government. At the same time, it's like they could just be fucking things, and like they exist, and that's the extent of it. Is they simply exist. And
my whole thing is what would make them what would make me fearful of them is if they were just clearing the pathway and there was no emotion, right? Because if an alien life form exists and they're just doing things so that way it makes their life better and it makes it better for their species, and clearing us off this planet is part of that. And they do it without any empathy. They do it without any these people are like bugs. We just got to get rid of the ants, and then we can live in this house now.
Yeah, but then that goes to the model again of Hollywood, where they sell you on the fact that we have this one thing that they have to have. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if you can travel here, you can travel anywhere in the entire universe, right? Like you can hop all over the place. And so you're telling me that there's not other things or other places. Like, why us would be the big thing, other than the fact that we have life. But what's the point of exterminating? Like the water, like the whole thing that like they need the water. Like I feel like that's all Hollywood gimmicks.
I think they need slave labor. They'd make
Truth
us all their
Seeker
slaves.
101 in the chat says aliens are harmless. They've been here for years. They probably have some tech that we want, so we will start a war.
So
I think it's not even that they may have tech that we want, because if they're getting here, obviously they have tech that we want.
Everybody wants.
But I think that's just governmental nature is to just attack. Let's go to war. That's just
Department
their
of Defense
first fucking thing.
I don't believe that at all. Actually,
You don't think that at all?
Nope. Not in this situation. I do not.
You don't think if some weird thing came down over the U.S. and it's not immediately seen as a threat by the U.S. government?
Yeah, but that's a different thing than what you're talking about. You're
Why?
talking about starting a war.
Exactly.
Having an attack on something that we've already done that, apparently. Like they've already like infiltrated bases and we've shot at them. Like the whole Battle of LA thing, like that was supposedly an alien. We've already done that. So like,
so what makes you think they'd be more hesitant?
What makes you think
that than if we're not hesitant to do it to ourselves?
What makes you think that we actually stand a chance?
We don't.
We don't. Which, if you can say that, and I can say that, and even people in the government right now are saying we don't have a shot in hell. If this technology is what they have, we don't have a chance. Then what war are you starting?
The same reason fucking Russia and Ukraine are at war.
No, do you think Russia and Ukraine?
Why do these other countries start war with each other
because
when
they can
one side
control.
doesn't have a fucking chance?
They can control,
but they're going to
each
fight
other.
anyway.
I know, but you're fighting for your. Listen, that's a terrible example because I don't believe that war is what it is. But in general, even if like the dominant force like Nazis come through and they start going, you're going to fight, right? Even if you don't stand a chance, you're going to fight because it's your land, it's your country.
Yeah.
And like if they were starting to bomb or like laser beam New York and shit, like obviously we're gonna like deploy planes and everything and try to have something, but there's no
I think
way.
that's part of the fear factor though, is like you introduce these weapons of war that this alien race has, we don't know how to stop it. Like that is a problem, right? If there is something where our Department of Defense comes out and goes, they have something that could like wipe out cities and we have no way to stop it and we don't know how it works.
Yeah,
right? That is a fear tactic.
Yeah, but that's where I get like weird with it because I'm like, when you say it's a fear tactic, that makes it sound like it's planned, and when in reality it's a fact. Like it's not fear tactics when it's reality. Like if they can fly from universe to universe or through inner dimensions, even if that's what the case is, then that's not fear mongering. That is a real fucking like everybody's gonna be freaked out. Like that's not the government setting it up. That is real. Like tigers are scary. They'll rip your head off. Like you don't need the government doesn't sell me on that.
Yeah, but disclosing that information is planned. You know what I mean?
I know, but
leaking it out and like slowly telling the public that yes, they exist. Here it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go on this.
If they're going on the tactic of slowly releasing things out, then that tells me that they're not a threat in the first place.
Sure.
If they were a legitimate threat, they would have to do something immediately.
Yeah, but to Greg's point,
if there was all these here the whole time and they're seeing things and they're collecting wreckage and stuff and they would have announced this as a threat a long time ago if it actually was a threat.
Yeah, but that was my argument to like why would they have not done this before if that was the real motive for being here was to like exterminate humankind.
Well,
like,
they don't show up enough.
We don't know.
Well, we don't know how much they actually show up, but if they're just showing up, if this Peru thing is real, like if there's actually aliens just flying around fucking Peru and people are like, what the fuck? They're everywhere.
The face peelers.
Like at that point, then that would be the moment where it's either, is this going to turn into a war or is this going to turn into something that they're going to have to like.
I'm more in line with the person in the chat that was, to some extent, basically. And I was telling you about the dude that I started listening to, and he's really a nobody, but he's got a decent little following. But he made a lot of sense. He's like, it seems to me that like we did get technology, like Bob Lazar's story kind of thing is real. They've been working on it for decades, and if they get to a point where they start to figure it out, like they actually can utilize it, like maybe they figured out how to actually use these propulsions, right? When they get to that point, the only way for them to make it into like military equipment is to like get it out in public, not necessarily all the details, but like they have to start getting like these third parties to get involved, right, to actually make these crafts and stuff and make the weapons. And so his point is I could see them leaking this stuff out and giving us some minute technology, like, hey, we got this energy source that we figured out and this is what we've got from it, and everybody's like, yay, super happy, and all while they can actually start behind closed doors doing what they need to do to advance it to it, because they couldn't advance it if they don't know how to do it. That's what Bob Lazar was saying, believe him or not. But he was saying, like, we had the technology, we could see it function, but we didn't know how to recreate it.
Yeah,
We didn't know how it worked. But if they can get it to work and they want to turn it into a craft, and they want any of these other, these warmongering agencies to help them build these things finally, like, they have to make it semi-public.
Yeah, I remember there was an interview with Tom DeLonge. It was on like the East, or like the Coast to Coast, whatever the hell, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's like full of shit or not. Like, I'm leaning towards full of shit, like that whole To the Stars Academy and all that stuff.
He's a pawn.
But he was saying that like there was rooms of military men that he was like sitting into these like skiffs, right?
Sure.
But they were saying that there was a craft that you could control with your mind. And that's what the military guys were focusing on. They're like, yeah, it exists, but you said that it could be steered and controlled with your mind. So how does that work? And that's all they wanted to know.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's fucking crazy, dude. If you could consciously control, like remote control, a huge ass craft, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and again, if we ever got to the point where we understood that, and if that may be the case, maybe we do. Maybe some deep underground agency understands it at this point. And
all our pilots are now just sitting in this little thing, and they're putting hands in those little jelly bubbles, and they're just going,
right?
Yeah.
Well, and that's what grays are supposed to be. They're supposed to be artificial intelligence, right? There's a theory out there.
Some people believe that, yeah. I can't get past the idea that, like, I just don't feel like it's going to be a threat. And I feel like it, like to Chris's point, like if it was going to be that, I feel like they could easily hit the panic button and have everybody in turmoil, right? They could have done it in 2020. Yeah. Honestly, when everybody was already vulnerable, they could have done this. And we even said back then, I think you even brought it up, that it was the perfect time for this fake alien invasion, you know what I'm saying? Like all this stuff, but it didn't. So like either they're terrible at their job, which we know that they are, the government, or it's not like what people think it is. It's not like this dire situation. Like maybe we have been getting technology from them, or maybe we, figured out these crafts and they're not here all the time, but we have this technology and we're using it. Like maybe they're on a different time frame than us.
Like I'm not saying that they would purposefully attack us, because we don't know. We don't know what the motive would be. I would say that we've seen our government attack people or convince other people to attack other people and then blame it on each other and to start wars, right? So I could see something happening like that, where you're getting some sort of miscommunication where our government or some other government tries to start a war. And I'm not saying that we're going to purposefully do this, but I could see them using this as like a fail-safe method of freaking the whole fucking world out. And even there's quotes of Ronald Reagan. There's frickin' what's his name? The NASA guy who said on his deathbed there's going to be like this alien invasion to bring the world government in. Because think about like a threat. Like that would combine everybody together. It would be like, hey, we need to figure out what's going on. We need to work together, right? Just like we did with the big C little V. We got to bring everybody together, figure out what's the motive here. What do they want?
Yeah, and I think that's a fair question. Like, I mean, listen, if it came out and we saw them, like hypothetically, they land on the fucking White House lawn, dude. Here they are, man. They're here. It's a
transvestite with tits.
They're waving. They're asexual little creatures. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we saw it, we would all go like, what is the motive? What are they doing? Like, what is their life like?
What
What's
if they
their
just want to be
like?
here for our ability to reproduce?
They just want my semen?
They just want to have sex with us.
Oh, extraction.
Like they're like, man, do you see how fast they can pump like just copies of themselves out?
Dude.
Let's go down there and fuck a bunch of them.
They get like, hopefully it's not Biden, but like Biden introduces him to the stand and he's like, we're not here to kill, we're here to fuck.
And then he goes,
yeah.
And sniffs them real hard.
Yeah, man. Maybe.
Dude, AP in the chat just says they found a creature with 20 legs in Antarctica.
Yeah, I just looked that up as she said.
What?
It's fucking.
What is it? Like a bug?
It's like an octopus or something.
It's like a broken down feather. You know what I'm saying? It looks like a feather that's been.
Well, how big is that?
I don't know.
That looks like under a microscope picture, you know?
It kind of does. Or is that under a water, like black water? I mean, that could be that too.
Oh my God, dude, that's freaky. That's
What's
like
it say?
straight
How
out
tall?
of an
I mean,
alien
does it say how
pod.
big it was in that thing?
20-armed creature. It was found at about 65 feet to 6,500 feet of underwater. That's a huge range.
It was 65.
65
Yeah.
feet to about 6,500
Throw a
feet.
couple thousand in there.
What? It doesn't say how big it is.
Huh.
A strawberry-like body.
I mean, you
So
know, the
probably
thing
small.
is like, you know, if you like look at some of this stuff,
It's a new species. They don't know what it is.
fucking alien, bro.
Mhm.
Yeah. octopus
That
are aliens,
clip
bro.
always sticks to me at Joe Rogan, that where he was showing the octopus thing.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just like, you know, there, and at the time they were talking about, and they're like, there's some scientists that believe that possibly, you know, maybe there were like eggs
They were on like they
an
were on a
asteroid
meteor or something.
a meteor, and it hit. Because octopus of all creatures on this earth do not seem like they belong in this fucking realm.
all those kind of things, right? All like the octopus, fucking jellyfish, or alien for sure.
Jellyfish are funky, but like octopus are like high. Like jellyfish to me are just fucking blobs in the
Goblin
water.
sharks. You ever see those fucking
Yeah, but
things?
that- but
Or
again-
their jaws detach and
Like
they go,
octopus are
"Whoa."
like extremely intelligent. Like and the fact that they can mutate their skin, like literally just blend in with everything, change immediately.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty like alien shit. And so
And I feel like an octopus can like sneak underneath a doorway if it needed to.
It
You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely
it could
can.
get fucking flat.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's a weird mutating fucking thing. But see, here's the question. Like, let's say that was like, there's no proof of that, but let's say that really did come from like some asteroid or meteor, and it is like life from another, but it's just adapted here. Like this is its home now, right? We all see it. I've touched them. You've touched them probably at
I've
some
never
point.
touched one.
Oh well, you know, aquarium or something. You see them, right? And my point is
What,
like,
an octopus?
yeah, you've
You've never touched an octopus?
I've never touched one. No.
Oh wow. They're
Is
You
that
ever
weird?
eaten one?
Is it weird that I've never
I
touched
don't know.
one?
I mean, we were on the coast. I mean, I feel like I've touched them maybe 20 times. Like,
I've never been to the like. I've been to an aquarium like one time. I have no reason to go there. I don't know.
to go see wildlife.
I don't know. I guess I should. I
It's
don't know.
fun. I mean, it's fun. Either way,
I just never gone
that's not my point.
to an actual aquarium that had like stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, like where Free Willy was. Oh, Lincoln City, the aquarium there. Remember that shit?
Mhm.
My point ultimately is this: if they were aliens and they're here, we don't know it. You know what I'm saying? Like we just think they're another fucking thing. It's like the Bigfoot theory, right? Like if that was to ever come out as like Bigfoots are real, people would just be like, oh, they're not. They don't have this elusive like, ooh, myth to them. It's like they're
Mhm.
just a primate, right? Like, and then we would just be like, oh, it's just a crazy big fucking monkey. You know what I mean? Because we just saw a silverback gorilla at the zoo.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I mean, it was a fucking monster, right? And I was looking at it, I'm like that doesn't even like register as like a real fucking thing. It's so big and it's so strong and it's just this crazy thing, but we just see it like it's just an animal, you know. Like
Yeah.
you could be afraid of it, but it's still just an animal.
Yeah.
So like, why can't an alien just be another thing that like exists? That's where I'm always stuck with it. Like it
Well,
doesn't
that's
have
the-
to be this extraordinary thing.
Well, it kind of does if it's going to fly something and if
Yeah,
it's
but-
going to have technology that it can
Listen, I hear you, but
fly across the
Yeah,
universe.
like I think you have to take octopus a little more serious
I
if they're
get
just
you.
gonna jump in a fucking ship and take off.
I eat
somewhere.
crow.
Right.
I get it. But my point is if they've really been around for so much longer than we have, like you would expect the evolution of whatever that thing is to have evolved into a point. Now, that goes into the whole, like, are they here to destroy us? Or are they here just because they have this technology and they're exploring like what we did? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
or have, I should say, in the past where we explored areas that we not, like Mars. Like we
or
wouldn't-
if you think about the explorer, like Columbus, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
like people
Yeah.
coming over here and taking over land.
Yeah,
What,
but see,
what if
that's-
what if they're like past civilizations of us?
I mean, that's
like,
obvious. Yeah.
I've thought about that, dude.
Like they're kind of thinking now that the Earth and like everything's a lot older than they originally thought it was.
some are saying it's younger.
Younger.
Yeah,
Well,
it's-
I've read that they're saying that like the dinosaurs wasn't as long ago as they thought it was.
That's the Earth is shorter. That would prove the Bible correct, right? They were saying that the dinosaurs still had flesh that was actually malleable, and that proves that they weren't 65 million years old.
Yeah.
that they were.
But that doesn't mean that the Earth is younger.
No, but the
Just the
timeline
is short.
timeline's all shot.
So what if like during these world-ending events that may have happened, the Big Bang? What if the Earth was still here before the Big Bang? Just the Big Bang ended everything. Like, what makes us
I mean,
think
the Big Bang is kind of
what
like
makes us think that this is the Big Bang, and then the whole entire fucking universe is going away from us?
Well, I don't think that's what it was. I think we're part of the Big Bang, which is not the Earth. It wasn't registered here. Like, that wasn't the Big Bang.
But
It was
I'm
matter
just saying,
increasing.
I'm just wondering if there was events that have catastrophic things happened on this planet, that some things may have just escaped to somewhere else because it was.
Well,
happening.
that's the whole Nephilim story, dude.
Sure, yeah.
Like the Raelians think that we were clones and we escaped. Like Noah's Ark was a spaceship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they also believe that the Nephilim are like Jesus was a Nephilim, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm.
Yeah, but it gets even weirder, like the dimensional, right? Like maybe because there's a lot of people that are saying they might not even be from space, because that would
vibrational,
still,
and you just can't see them most of the time because they're on a different frequency.
in a different dimension. You know what I'm saying? Like that would still prove that, like, you know, that could allow somebody to still believe the Earth is flat and we live in a firmament, right? Like, you know, that the past, the present, and the future are all on the same timeline in just different dimensions. You know, I mean, these creatures, these aliens or whatever, are from another dimension, and they're able to hop instead of coming from the faraway universe. They're just hopping over through like a hole, you know what I'm saying, into a new dimension.
Yeah.
And I don't think we'll ever know that until the day that they start appearing and we see them and we actually start learning from them. You know what I'm saying? Because how much would we advance? Like, take away all the bullshit of war and like they're going to destroy and all that. So let's say they come here and they're peaceful. Let's say they're 100% peaceful. And they're like, hey, we've been watching you guys
dude, check this shit out.
Yeah, we saw the cavemen, dude. We've been helping you since we started fire for you, bro. Like, we did that shit. Can you imagine what like the study of these things and what universities and people's knowledge, like how much we could advance, like rapidly.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Rapidly. And like maybe
it would probably be the biggest point of knowledge, like the biggest leap in knowledge that we've ever had.
Yeah, and it would have to be like, not just come down and say, hey, check this out, here it is, here's this. They'd have to come and like detail everything, explain.
Oh, they
like,
would.
This is exactly what this is. This is exactly how it works. This is how you can make it.
Well, that's why, dude, yeah, if that does happen, some people do think that will happen.
Yeah.
And because think about when man first evolved. Like if we did go, you know, come from apes, which I don't think we did, but you never know. There had to have been a fucking spark of energy. There had to be a spark of intelligence that came from somewhere. And some people think that that's when we were first visited. And that's what got us to the point where we're at now. So when we evolve again, it will be another like upload of some sort of intelligence that will make us the next level of evolution, right? The evolved man.
Sure. Sure.
You know,
and maybe they just like, again, maybe they're looking at it like, hey, like this is a good time to do this. Like we're in a chaos kind of moment in history right now. And there's been many of them, but we're in a situation where not only is it chaotic, but we have these things that we've created that can destroy everything as well. Which in history, in those really chaotic periods of time in history, right, where everything was like, you know, we were just shooting people with fucking muskets and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't have world-ending capabilities per se. And so maybe they're looking at it like, hey, you know, this is that point where we can come down and there's enough good people and there's enough good things going on that we can actually help shift this back into the right direction and advance it. And that's just a possibility. That's all I'm saying. It's like, I don't always look at that. And I try to not do it with anything where it's like doom and gloom. The government's out to get us all. This is a big setup. This is all made up. Like everything's like it could just be that they exist and we're actually in that moment of life where we never thought we'd see it, where we actually may see
flying cars.
I'm saying we may actually see those things that we saw in movies that we didn't think we would ever see.
Yeah.
And like, can you imagine like in history how I mean, besides Jesus walking Earth again, that would be the most like insane period of time ever to know that like, oh, wow, you know, this is a bigger thing than us. Like this is a huge fucking thing. It would be the most important history ever. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. Because like that, it does fit a lot of agendas too. Like the people that think that aliens are demons.
Sure.
And that aliens will become another god, right? They're trying to get rid of Jesus and bring in a new religion, bring in a new Jesus that would be an alien.
Well, I think there's a lot of weak people,
what if they came down, walked out of their ship and said, I am God?
See?
Yeah, but
they wouldn't be creating something else. They'd just be presenting themselves.
Yeah, but see, here's where I would fight back. I still believe that even though we don't see that as much, or maybe it's not as prevalent, but I still believe that a lot of people on this earth, and I mean a vast majority of people, have an extreme faith, in Jesus and their God, whoever it is. Yeah. I mean, whatever religion it is, they believe in it extreme, like a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't know that anything that comes down is going to shock them out of just all of a sudden they don't believe in Jesus and aliens are.
No, I think it would make them believe in Jesus even more.
Sure.
Because it would be the return of the fallen angels. That's what they would present themselves as false gods.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I just don't know that aliens are going to come down and do that, like, period. You know what I mean? Like, they may have their own belief system, and there's some people that speculate on what that is, but I just don't.
Well, and there's speculation that there's different types of aliens, too. I mean, you never know.
And there could be, right? Like, why?
No,
if there's
different
one,
types of human beings, so why wouldn't there be of aliens?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be Star Wars-esque in this shit. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have all kinds. But I'm just, listen, until that happens, I'm not going to stress it. And I also think that, like, people aren't going to be rocked off their faith. They've lived their whole life believing this, and in a lot of cases, and believing in the Bible, believing in their book, whether it's, anything, the Quran or anything for that matter. And I don't know that an alien coming down just saying, like, I am God. People are going to be like, well, you're not, but hey, if you think so, you know what I mean? Like, because like right now, I mean, there are people walking this earth that think they're God, and they get some culty following, but not everybody follows him. Not everybody goes, wow, he really is Jesus,
Not unless you're Jared Leto. I mean, that guy looks like Jesus. He has quite the cult.
He does have but that came from his music, right? Like, had he done that without music, he would be 10
and his good looks. I think that's why women go.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
They're like, oh shit, I get to go to band camp with Jared Leto. Fuck yeah.
I have a lot of faith in humans in that aspect. That I first of all, I don't know that will be the case, but I don't think that this is going to rock people's core. And I think that's why they didn't share it for so long, is they felt that people would go into chaos and that religion would end and all this shit would happen. I'm like, why? Why? Like, why does it have to be like, just because there's an intelligent thing out there that's not us that believes something differently doesn't mean that we're all just going to jump ship and be like, they must know. Like, just because they're smarter doesn't mean they're like, you can be book smart, and they probably are, but they could be dumb as a fucking rock, bro. You know what I mean? Like, watch them come do like normal shit. Like, maybe they can't do anything. Maybe they're only good at what they fucking know.
Yeah, that would be.
What is this shoelace?
Yeah.
How do you tie it?
Like, they show up and we just start showing them human shit, and they're just like, oh,
yeah.
Well, they're holding forks, like, all weird.
Yeah, I mean, E.T. was fucking smart, but he couldn't eat a Skittle for a while. You know what I'm saying? Like, he couldn't get out of the damn shed. So my point is,
pour a glass of milk either.
Yeah, they could be very advanced, but that doesn't mean that they're all encompassing advanced. You know what I'm saying? Or any of that crap. Like, maybe they don't even have a religion. Maybe they're not even really like living things. They're, like you said, they're AI. We don't fucking know.
Yeah,
we don't.
The
know.
landers like, take us to your mothership. We must speak to your commander. Yeah. I'm just like, no, this is it, bro.
And if
you're on the ground, this is it.
Yeah, I
demand you cook me a Pop-Tart now.
I would probably argue I won't take you to our commander. He's not a good representation of this whole human race. Okay, so it's fascinating, man. And to go back to the Peru stuff and end it for me on this one is just like, it's coming out, and there's gonna be a lot of questions and a lot of people's opinions, and I think that's very good. But until that day where we see it and it's in our face and we're really confronted with it, there's no point in stressing it. No point in stressing it. We have bigger fish to fry in this country and in the world, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have some problems we need to figure out before we can even worry about some other fucking alien race.
Trump just got indicted 10 times, bro. So, hey, we'll see what happens there.
There's a lot of stuff. Maybe we'll get to it Wednesday. There's a lot of stuff that was kind of, there was that house fire we were talking about that just exploded, bro.
Did you see the video of that?
In Pennsylvania?
God, yeah. They just came out like 6 hours ago and said it wasn't gas lines. So what the fuck was it, dude? What was that?
Fucking bomb, bro.
Right? Missile? Russia.
It took out, that building blew up, and it took out the 2 buildings beside it also.
3 total destroyed buildings and like 12 damaged homes. 5 dead.
That's crazy. It was big, dude.
That was a big bomb.
I mean, that and the Maui fires. I mean, a lot of people are saying that that's just a land grab.
It's a land grab.
Like, they wanted to clear it all out.
Yeah, I just seen a thing that Oprah's whole fucking 160 acres or whatever she owns hasn't been touched. Not even a little.
Oh,
bit.
really?
Yeah, I actually,
odd.
I'm with you. It's a land grab to me.
I also seen something on Twitter or X. I seen something on X earlier where they were saying that that's where the first futuristic city and futuristic part of the country is going to be built.
Exactly. That's why they did it, because they want to bring in it's going to be electric free. So it'll be all natural, like wind power and all that shit, dude.
Yeah, I know that like the people that were living there, the residents of Maui in that particular area, were holdouts, and they have been for decades trying to get them to sell their land.
Oh yeah,
they would not do it, and they said they would never will do it. And so it was very. There's a lot of people that live there that are making some videos. I'm not there, so I don't understand the geography per se. But they were saying that the way that this whole kind of storm came in was not the normal way of it coming in. There was a lot of like, same thing in California, trees standing, buildings fucking destroyed.
Multiple fires starting at the same time, right?
And the most expensive parts of town, the most expensive sought after areas were the areas that were destroyed. So I mean,
like the map just lands right over each other, right?
They were saying there's even
this is where the deep state
beams.
wants to buy land. This is where the fires were. Okay, map on each other.
Yeah, it's so far. I read yesterday that it's the deadliest fire in U.S. in the last 100 years or something like that. I think there's been like 60 some people that they found.
There's a lot
so
more than that.
I've heard estimates that it's going to be closer to like 500.
I think it'll be more. Like there are some people that are saying that the media is flat out lying about the amount of people that are perished from this.
They don't do that.
Well,
no,
I mean,
they don't, never would.
It's still going. So they can't. How are they supposed to get in and find everything?
They're saying that they're downplaying. Like obviously they're showing it and they're saying it's bad, but they're downplaying how absolutely horrific this whole thing is. Like to the scale of it.
Yeah.
And so again, we'll find out.
It's just like the Ohio train derailment. Like they're just downplaying all that. Hey, just brushing it under the rug.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Let's indict Trump. Everybody will forget about Maui.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, people were claiming that they saw little beams coming down.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't either. But hey, we can break it down a little more. I think once it starts to clear up and we can maybe get some more information and see some more video, like maybe that's a good conversation for Wednesday. But
yeah.
All right, guys, that's it.
Right on, dudes.
Good conversation, man. I love that shit.
Yeah. Fucking aliens.
Hell yeah.
I mean, listen, I personally am kind of excited about it. Scared and excited.
Just aliens being here in general?
Just actually seeing them walk and knowing that they're real, like it's enticing and alarming at the same time. Like,
dude, it's coming. It's coming, baby.
It's a good chance, man. It's a good chance. So glad you're back, Greg. Glad you had a good vacation.
Yeah. Glad to be back, brothers.
Cheers to everybody. Hope you have a great beginning of the week. And until we see you on Wednesday.
Yeah, have a good night, guys. Make sure you're sharing everything everywhere. Hit that subscribe button. Go leave a rate review.
Absolutely. See you Wednesday.
See you later.
Sayonara.